Well, following the disappointment of our first ever Carabao Cup final defeat in the last episode, we have got to turn our attention back to the three big competitions. We've still got a chance in all of them. The title race is incredibly tense between the top four, but today our attention turns away from that as we've got a big Champions League tie against Eintracht Frankfurt and an FA Cup quarter final against an Everton side that have caused us many problems over the years. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 127 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. Southend will be hoping to battle at the top end of the table in real life this year, and we're hoping to do it at the top of the Premier League this time. Our run of three successive titles, our first three in this save, may well be coming towards an end because Arsenal, Newcastle and Brighton, along with us, all separated by 3 points. Liverpool starting to close that gap just behind as well. Today, though, we host Eintracht Frankfurt at Steve Tilson Park, having wrapped up a 1-0 away win in Germany in the first leg, maybe a chance at a quarter-final. Can we avoid English opposition and make history? And then Everton in the FA Cup, a nice moment actually. If you remember back to, I think, season 3 or 4 when we were in League 2, Everton was the big cup tie we got. Neymar came to Roots Hall at the time, and that was the big moment, our first massive money tie. And we've now got them in a quarter final as we look to try and win our second FA Cup at a save. If you're looking forward to it, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video as Teddy Ivanov is still going as top goal scorer despite being the worst striker at the club on paper. And while we do that, let's have a quick look at the schedule, see what's been happening since you were last here. Because the simple fact is we've become boring and hard to beat. After the 3-2 cup final defeat against Liverpool, we went relatively strong in the midweek. I mean, we still had to rest a fair few, but Ivanov and a last-minute goal from Joaquin Jimenez got us a little bit of revenge. I'd far rather have won it the opposite way round, though. And then against Manchester City, a good 2-0 win in the league, late goals from Vasquez the sub and Joe Wills. A 1-0 win away in Germany at Frankfurt, a really gritty performance. Jude Sadler, by far the best player on the pitch in my opinion, although he was ranked behind Jan Carlos because he set up the goal. And then Fulham away, another 1-0 win. Yokolano with a first half goal, and Logan McNaughton this time getting us out of jail as we rotated pretty heavily for the league fixture. We're going to be doing the same again this time. My aim is to go first team against Frankfurt and Everton, then take a little bit of a gamble against relegation battle in Leeds. But then it's the big title clash against Brighton. There are so many big games, but these are the two that we're going to be worrying about. We start with Eintracht Frankfurt, a 1-0 lead, but they gave us a threat in that first leg. And with the big teams remaining, there is some important news because this is the round of 16 we're looking at here. There are no English sides in this half of the draw. If we go to tomorrow's fixtures, while there are 4, 2 of them are playing each other, and both Dortmund and Juve are ahead against English opposition. I think if we get to a quarter final and there are only one other English side left, it gives us a much better chance because that's generally where we've fallen down in recent years over 2 games. Let's get through the tactical meeting though. We're going to close down a few players. There aren't many familiar names at this stage, let's be honest. But it's a very good Frankfurt team, and they'll be expecting to do pretty well today. They'll give us a game, but can we get through? Let's pick our 11. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, I have picked what I believe to be as close to my inform and fit team as I can at the moment. And based on that, that means Teddy Ivanov comes in up front. Vite plays at centre-half because of the incredibly heavy match load to Rakowski and to Hansen. And we brought Jan Carlos back in at left-back and gambled Marciano on a yellow. I'm not going to go for McNaughton in goal, which is the one bit I didn't notice from the assistants team. We've also got the nearing return of a few injuries. So Aguiman and Robertson are on the bench. Both of them apparently fit to play some minutes, but I'll try not to. And then Nana Fair, not recommended yet, but should be available at the weekend. So our team in full today is Sadler in goal, Memic and Carlos the fullbacks with Herbert alongside Vite. Bit of a gamble, but we're going for it. Yokolano plays on the right, Adamson over on the left. I nearly started Vasquez, I'll be honest. Then Berberg and Marciano in the middle with Wills and Ivanov, the old duo back up front. Let's go and submit the team for Frankfurt at home. With a slender advantage, we should be all right now. But this game's going to be tough. And in the Champions League, we've had some horror shows over the years. Not many at home, but a few. Wow. They've only got 6 subs. They had about 10 in the first leg. I've no idea what's happened there. Maybe it's youth players. They had a youth team game or something, but it's not the strongest side in the world. Shola Kingsley is one to watch out for. He's a player we tried to sign before in midfield, but it is a Frankfurt team that is certainly not as strong as some of the other German sides we've played in this save, where we've played against the likes of Bayern or whatever in group stages. Dortmund in particular, we found them more difficult. And as Vite has got the ball here for Yukulano. Chance to carry it forward from the right-hand side. Switch isn't great. Adamson nicks in though. Can we produce a really good performance? We've rested a few as Ivanov's in, but I think he's offside. And it would be suggested by the fact that the finish was very good that he may well have just broken that line a little bit too early. I think this will be disallowed. It is. 0-0 it remains on the night. But a good start, a positive start. And I'm hoping we're going to get a good display. Well, maybe I was a bit too optimistic and hopeful because half an hour gone, there's been nothing in the game since. Jude Bellingham's still banging them in for Real Madrid in the Champions League. But we're having some trouble here as it goes down the right-hand side for the visitors. If they get back on terms, we'll throw it away. I can tell you now. And that is not far away at all. Big cross to the back post, looping header over Sadler. And he just clips the top of the bar on its way over as we play out short from the goal kick. Herbert to Bernberg's not a good pass. Been a little bit disjointed in recent moments as he gets it again, Bernberg. Again, behind Adamson, who has to check his run. And he does cut inside, does really well with it. Finds Marciano. Yukulano's on the right, but Marciano goes alone. Chance to cross this three in the middle. He takes too long and he's caught out. It's cleared downfield. Vite will start again. And Memic will work down the side. Look how unhappy the team is. The morale's all over the place. But is that a penalty on Yukulano? It looked clumsy. It didn't look like the worst challenge in the world. But he's coming over to the screen, which means it will now not be given. It seems to be the rule this year. Referee goes over, changes his mind. And this, I'm expecting no penalty. Let's see what he does. And just see his little head there at the bottom. On he comes. Referee. Penalty awarded. I take back everything I said. Not the same as the Scottish Premiership then. Those who are following on Twitch will know what I mean by that. Let's have a look at the penalty as Teddy Ivanov steps up. Still chasing his 20th of the season. He plays safe. He slides it down the middle. And coolly slots it in. A first goal of the night for Southend. And 20 of the year for Ivanov. Brilliant effort from him where other strikers have faltered. And now, we can praise these boys. Get a bit of spirit up. Come on, you're doing all right. Adamson into Bernberg. Flicked on at the front post. No idea why we're producing those deliveries. We're always a back post corner team. They're ignoring my instructions. Maybe not a good sign. But at half-time, 1-0 on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. Not enough to maybe suggest to me that we're going to compete with the biggest boys in Europe. But certainly on the way to the quarter-final, which after not getting past the last 16 until last year, we can make it successive quarter-finals. We're just edging in the right direction. We'll maybe be there before too long, but soon we will need to think about changes as that's a good free kick from Frankfurt, almost in. And at the hour mark, I'm getting a bit worried as Adamson's got a free kick. We could take it away here. Headed away as far as Herbert. He heads over. Maybe would have been better flicking it back into the box there. But doesn't do so. And as we head to the final 25, then we've got to look at resting a couple. Bernberg's playing poorly. So I'm going to bring Kivrakidis on anyway. Marciano has got that threat with the yellow card. So we'll bring on Joaquin Jimenez. Wills is always tired. So we'll switch Ivanov and we'll bring on Ashley Carr. And I think I'll leave it defensively. I know Vite's not had the best game, but we've not been under much threat. And I'd like him to get 90. And I'd also not like to bring on one of the heavy match loads. So we can keep it as it is, then great. The Schmitz on the left-hand side. Through ball towards Canessa. Big switch of play. Ibrahimov is there. Will he cross and deliver? He does, but Carlos is in a great position. Adamson brings it away for Ivanov. And now we can counter, can we? Back to Kivrakidis. Just slowed it down a bit too much there for my liking. We do eventually get over halfway. And it's a big chip up towards Ashley Carr. Can he be the hero? You bet he can, but then the flag's up. Of course, it can't just be a good Ashley Carr finish from open play. Has to be offside when he does so. And it's disallowed yet again. The second of the night to be chalked off. Well, 20 minutes remaining. You can see Yukulano struggling a bit. So I will bring on Vasquez in a second and switch Adamson over. As Memic works down the right. Another I'd probably like to rest, but not sure I can here. Vite into Jimenez. Big switch of play is terrible. Absolutely awful. And they're in behind from it. It's terrible from Jimenez. And it might end up giving us a very nervy finish. He's just not good enough anymore, sadly. Yukulano will be replaced by Vasquez. Might have to wait on the final sub, but that is really unnecessary. And it's put us in a world of trouble. He had a 5-yard pass on. And his poor decision making is becoming a bit of a theme here. I chucked him on because he's normally reliable, but he might have cost us this time. And that is a real concern. Teddy Ivanov could do with coming off, but I've only got Casey Worcester on the bench. And surely it's not the moment for that. If we'd stayed 2 up, maybe I would have. But for now, I don't think I can do it. Adamson struggling on the other side. Memic isn't looking confident. I don't even know what to say to them. Memic brings it down the right to Carr. I'd love to just put one in now so he can relax, but Memic has lost the ball. Adamson works hard to win it back for Carr, though. Can he turn provider instead? Into Teddy Ivanov. He never lets us down. And now he's going to get wrapped up in cotton wool because we desperately need him fit at the weekend. He scores the second in a night. Casey Worcester can come on and get 9 minutes of knockout Champions League football. What a moment for a player that came through our academy. But crucially, we've got the win done. Carr crosses to Herbert, and now it's all starting to look far more comfortable than it's been. 3-1 on the night, 4-1 on aggregate. That well and truly flatters us because we weren't great in the first leg, but we nicked the win. And in this one, it's never been a 3-goal game, has it? As Jimenez breaks away, finds Carr. The problem is, though, they're chasing the game. They've opened up, and it's going to give us loads of opportunities. Adamson on the right-hand side, back to Memic. Will it be a flurry of late goals again? Vite with the big switch of play to Carlos. Support down the left-hand side, but he carries it alone. Then switches into Jimenez. Flicked on for Ashley Carr. Can he finally get one? No, he can't. It's over the bar. Never keeps it down when he's onside, does he? And Ganga's going to play out from the back. And again, Ashley Carr, only 12 goals this season. Not looking like a world-class striker. If Fair comes into the team and hits form, might be the end of Ashley Carr this time. Although he's got a great rating since coming on. As Jimenez gives it to Vasquez. And now Worcester. Plays back to Carlos. Good hold-up play that. Luis Vasquez beats his man. Early cross towards Carr. Up for the header. Loses out. Jimenez down. Not good enough. He's had a stinker. Absolute stinker. As has Vite there. Oh, God. That is not good. Over the bar. Vite is not ready for the big games. Jimenez should not be featuring in them. And we've got a free kick in a dangerous position. We're into 3 minutes of stoppage time. The tie is safe. Can Ashley Carr produce some magic? Almost. Off the outside of the post. It's a comfortable night in Europe in the end. But for 70 minutes or so, that looked incredibly worrying. It's 3-1 on the night. It's 4-1 on aggregate. Let's see who we get in the quarterfinals if we find out before the end of the episode. If not, we'll be back in a moment for a big FA Cup tie away at Everton. Well, we return for fitness test time ahead of an FA Cup quarter-final. We've had good news in the Champions League in that lots of the English opposition has gone out, or potential English opposition. But we've also got a youth intake, so let's see if all that investment is finally going to give us a start. It's the one thing I'd love to have before the end of this save, is a superstar from the Southend Academy. We've worked hard, invested on it, and had no reward. Will we get one today? Oh my God. We might have just got one. There is also one just below that looks good, but let's have a look at this striker. Mikey Magwood, 1-star ability, 5-star potential. Please don't be a disappointment. Please don't be a striker who can't finish. He can finish. He can run. He's professional. We have got a superstar on our hands. He's 5'10", but he's okay in the air. Ashley Carr, you better be looking over your shoulder. We have got a superstar from our academy. We can get near in the Premier League. We might give him a few games later on. There are also some really good younger players as well. There's 2 or 3 in support that might have the ability to make it. Martin Kelly is a goalkeeper with 4.5-star potential. The usual lack of composure. But he's 6'6". He's good enough. Could be a third choice in the future. Right winger Steve Charlton is not bad. Bit of a left footer. Doesn't really suit our style, but should make it as a pro. And Jay Thomas, a Welsh midfielder. Yeah, he's okay. Again, should make it as a pro. Not as many players from other nations as we've had in previous seasons. But one superstar at last. Maybe Mikey Magwood will be our final crowning glory at this save. Let's get through the fitness tests. Marciano had a knock in a week. Fair will probably be back on the bench. We might be able to start Aguiman and Jorg Robertson. Let's go and get our 11 pick to face Everton. As Manchester City almost went out. But League One QPR are through. Newcastle United are going to be through. Will we join the crew at Wembley in the last four? Let's pick our team and return in a minute to find out. Well, here is our team for today, and officially for the first time, Logan McNaughton has a better star rating than Jude Sadler. He's in for the cup tie anyway. Aguiman and Robertson return on the right wing as we look to get some fresh legs in. Heavy match load were out there. I have given Teddy Ivanov a break because we need him for the biggest games. Ashley Carr comes in having starred off the bench with 2 assists in midweek. Vasquez and Robertson are 2 wingers. Torres is in centre midfield as well. And Rakowski returns at centre half. So who's still in from midweek? Herbert, Carlos, Bernberg and Joe Wills. 7 changes in total. It's still a very good side. And we've got a strong bench. Despite the fact that Nana Fair is not quite there. Despite the fact that we've left Memic and Worcester out altogether. Vite doesn't make the squad either. But overall, we're in pretty good nick. Let's go and get through to it at the new Everton Stadium. And see what team we're up against. And whether we can get through to the semis. Well, for the first time when we face this Everton team, I don't think there's any originals in a starting 11. Just Nathan Patterson on the bench as well. Milicevic, of course, no Mauricio Pochettino, and they've struggled in the league this year. They've still largely got the same squad that did very well in previous seasons. So let's see how they get on in this one. We know we've got a good bench to call upon if we need it, but I'm hoping the 11 will do the job as we try and get them motivated. And most of the defensive line is, if nothing else. Let's see how we get on in the first half. Big Southend following behind the goal there. One of the best parts of the FA Cup, that. Let's get through to the first half of the fixture and see if we can get the result. Well, a quiet 15 minutes to start, and we've just had a warning about Ashley Carr getting a gash lower leg, but hopefully again it won't get worse as Rakowski works down the line to Aguiman. Back in the team after injury. Are we going to look a bit rusty out there? Robertson in support, as is Torres. Back to Robertson, into Wills. What a block that is by the defender. Keeper was beaten as Wills tried to put it in a corner. It's just deflected away. But look, Ashley Carr's going to have to come off, I think. Wills into the back post. Herbert heads just wide. I'll give it 5 or 10 more. But if he doesn't show anything, I think we'll probably have to get it done. I didn't really want to lose a sub break this early on. With no shots on target, no goal threat. And with an injured centre forward. Teddy Ivanov's match load is about to go up again. Let's bring him on. We know we've brought on a bigger goal threat, if nothing else, but he's not as good a player on paper, and he's certainly not as creative a one. But can Teddy Ivanov produce the goals? He got 2 in midweek, and we need 1 today. But at half-time, doesn't look like it's coming, and there might be one for Everton yet. Corner into the front post, flicked on. They've offered nothing all game. They've had no shots on target. They've been crap. And then they get 1 corner flicked on and score. And it's normally an area we're strong defending. But against 1 shot on target, we are 1-0 down. With more striker injuries, it's starting to feel like it's just been a little bit of a chore this season. Scoring goals has been a bit of a chore, which I've never often said about us. And defensively, we have little spells, but then we just let in the odd poor goal. We're going to need a response in this half, and I've got a feeling we're going to be relying on substitutes. But the most important thing now is don't go 2 down. Everton are a very good cup team. They've won European trophies in this save. They've been very good. They've got a big goal kick out there from Filipovic to Drommel. Carries it into midfield. Robertson wins the challenge. But again, we're not quite high enough up the pitch. And that's not normally like us. Through ball's intercepted by Torres though. And now we can break. Aguiman to Bernberg, who's had another poor game. Wills out to the left to Vasquez. Space to run into. Can we instantly hit back at the start of the second half? Crossing deflects. Ivanov's there. Teddy Ivanov again. Always scoring this season. What a renaissance it's been. We spent most of the season and the back end of last year talking about whether we'd need to sell him because we have 4 great strikers. Yes, we didn't expect to lose Kranjic for 170 million during that time. But Teddy Ivanov has been the one to step up to the plate. And where Wills has stopped scoring, where Carr can't score, where Fair's had injuries and penalty misses, Teddy Ivanov has been the hero, but it's still only 1-1. Everton are still dominating the possession and having most of the game in our final half. Can we deal with it? Drommel down the line. Good interception, Robertson. How are we going to break with a ball like that? Come on, Jorg. You're better than that. Bennett into midfield again for Hodgkinson. We're right under the cosh here. As Jones goes over halfway. Hodgkinson finds Valentino. Into the box. Good shot. McNaughton straight at him. He's able to hold it. And with an hour gone, I think we're going to need the bench, aren't we? Bamberg has been crap again. He deserves no credit at all. What a waste of a player. I don't understand why he's rated so well. He's the only one that doesn't deliver in that role as well. I'm going to bring on Marciano and switch over Torres. Joe Wills should come off, but I've got nobody to bring on, so he's just going to have to improve on his own accord. Jan Carlos will come off for De Angelis, and Aguiman shouldn't do the full game, but again, got no one really to bring on for him other than I can go Hansen and move Rakowski over. So I'll do that. Jorg Robertson will probably be the final sub. We're 25 to go. Let's see if these guys make a difference. And if not, we've not really got anything we can do about it, so they have to. Yocolano has been a super sub in the past, and he might well be one here. Let's just get him on, shall we? Jorg Robertson's knackered. It's his first game back. Let's encourage them. I don't want to go to extra time. I might even go attacking and risk losing it just to avoid extra time here. As Vasquez finds Wills, that's a second yellow. Now we can go attacking. As we're playing against 10 men. JC Fitzgerald is off. But can we create anything? We've got a corner with Joe Wills. Don't know why he's taking it. But if he finds Hansen or Herbert, it's all right. Herbert hits the bar. It's away as far as Ivanov. Starting to feel like it's not going to be our day here. 7 minutes added on. We've gone as attacking and aggressive as we can. And we've got another throw deep in their territory. 1-2 between the right back and right midfielder. Cross is cleared away. And now there's a counter on. Hansen had to make that and he did. Finds Rakowski and Yocolano. Ball into Marciano. Two in the middle. Wills is one. What a time to find your scoring touch again. Joe Wills makes it 2-1 in a second minute of stoppage time. It's brilliant play down the right. Marciano off the bench, a star. Now we'll probably go and score 2 or 3 more, won't we? As De Angelis finds Torres, it looks like it's going to be an FA Cup semi-final. And do you know what? We need to win a trophy this year. So if we can get towards the end in this one, with the league maybe in a bit more doubt, that would be handy, as it's a long ball forward from Everton, but they've got nothing up there. They're down to 10. They were playing for the draw, and now they don't really know how to react. As Hansen, professional, composed, just keeps the ball for Torres. Wills goes wide to Yocolano. Support down the line, but instead switches to De Angelis. There's so much space out wide. Everton have gone really narrow to try and defend it. And Filipovic is forced into a brilliant save from Joe Wills. That goal he scored there could be crucial, getting one of your star strikers back in form. Now, can he find an assist from the corner? Just wrap this game up, make it a comfortable finish. Lewis Herbert attacks it. Nobody gets there. Goal kick to Everton. 2.5 to go. I'm not going to time waste and sit back against 10. We're going to try and make it over the line, and we do. 2 pretty unconvincing but important victories. We deserve them both. Let's not be doubting that. But they weren't vintage performances. We're into the FA Cup semi-final though. We're into the Champions League semi-final. And we're in what looks like a hell of a Premier League title race with Arsenal, Newcastle and Brighton all separated by 3 points. We get 500 grand for winning our FA Cup tie. We don't have the draws for either yet. But if I show you the Champions League and the recent results, Spurs went out to Dortmund. Liverpool went out to Juve. Atletico Madrid beat Bayern, who were one of the best sides. Arsenal battered Manchester City. The Milan derby was won by AC on penalties. And then the 2 big clubs that take part in El Clasico. So it looks like it's still going to be very tough and great level of opposition. But there's only one English opponent. And that is generally where we fall down. So if we go and have a look at the schedule and what is coming up, I think if this schedule is correct, there is only one place we can return. We've got bar Brighton, a friendlier run of Premier League fixtures now. And then in the middle of April, 2 games in a week. The UEFA Champions League quarter-final second leg, where hopefully we'll still be in whatever tie we've got. And then an FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. Can we do it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How many of the 3 will we win, if any? Will we miss out on them all? Our first youth intake star, let me know what you thought of him. And if you enjoyed this one, 2 big wins against 2 good opposition. And please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on to stay up to date with what is sure to be a thrilling climax to the season with a tense title race in store as well. You can also stay up to date with the other playlists. We were back with the coach's head yesterday and we're going to be looking for a new job this summer. So come and join me and give your opinion there. There's also a link to the football podcast where I say a massive thank you for getting involved in recent days. We've had our pre-season prediction shows for all 3 EFL leagues and the National League. So come and get involved in the comments of those. The link to the playlist is in the eye above. Let us know on the National League one where you think Southend will be this year. And of course, there's also the Twitch channel for regular live streams and so much more. Thank you all for being here. Your support is massively appreciated. I'll see you back here next time for what should be another big week from both the FA Cup and the Champions League quarter-final.